Hello everyone. Today we will consider the link verification module. To do this, go to the audience collection in the left menu. Then the link verification module. This module checks links and Telegram usernames for existence and obtains additional information about them. You need to insert a list in any format. It is written here that any format is supported. Usernames, links, their software will be checked to determine what they are. A username can be a user, group, or channel, and additional information will be obtained. There is an option to use a database. Like in any module in the software, if you did not have time to check your database for some reason, it will be created for you, base, then you enable the option to use the database. Specify the path to it, and the software will continue to check your usernames and links. And it will only work with those that have not been checked before using this database. I will remind you of this again when I start the module. Next, the number of requests per account. The recommended values are 40 requests per account per day. In general, on an individual basis, if you don't mind your accounts. For example, you can increase the number of requests per account to 200. But in this case, keep in mind that anything can happen to the account due to the large number of requests. Also, for link checking, you can use accounts that are in permanent spam block, geo spam block, or temporary spam block. That is, it doesn't matter. Specify the delays between checks. Let's specify, leave the default of 40 requests with one account. Let's specify a delay of 1 to 2. Between each check, you can specify 2 to 5. Depending on your situation and the volume you are checking, setting the maximum flood waiting time is the same as in the entire software. That is, I remind you, if an account receives a flood during operation that exceeds the specified time here, it will stop working. If it receives a flood less than the specified time, it will wait for this time and continue working. Let's choose our accounts. Let's choose random ones. There is also an option to forcibly determine the number of users in groups. That is, not every link can provide the number of participants. For example, with a private link, the software may not get the number of participants. But if you need to 100% get the number of users from all links, if they are groups, then enable this option, and with this option, the software will join these groups and obtain more information. This setting is not usually required and is mainly needed if, for example, you have private links. You need to consider this point that with this option, the software will subscribe to such groups and forcibly obtain information. Next, check private groups. If you want private groups and chats to be checked forcibly and in detail, enable this option. If you want the software not to join forcibly, then do not enable it. Standardized links option, we enable it if we have different link formats. Then in the final database, these links will all be converted to one format. There is also a bio request. This is a profile description. If you need, for example, to get their description in the database based on the username, enable this option. And the number of threads, if you do not specify the number of threads in this module, like in all modules of the software, the number of threads will be taken from the settings. Let's specify it. And start. The software will check all your links and usernames both for availability in Telegram and to obtain additional information. Here we have a database. Here it is called base. If, for example, you run out of accounts, you check a large number and haven't checked all the links or usernames listed here. Then for future runs, choose different accounts and specify the path to this database. The software will continue working with it, meaning it will continue checking your usernames and links, as well as those users it took from this database before. Meaning now, for example, it won't check the same users again. It only takes new ones with a status of ready. It will obtain additional information for all the links. The recommended values have been mentioned. I can repeat once again that it is recommended to have 40 requests per day from one account. If you want to take risks, you can specify up to 200. Most accounts with good reputation, perpetual spam blocking, nothing happens to them, even if you specify 200 requests per account. This is our initial database. If someone is not found, the rest are successful, meaning there are no more users left in our database that need to be checked. And this is the final database. Well, here it is. For example, the software displayed who it found. Collected BIOS, since we enabled the option to determine the BIOS of usernames. And we also have groups in the database. In the groups, since we did not forcibly enable determining the number of participants, we do not have information about the number of participants in each chat. Here we have a channel, either a chat or a channel, and additional information whether an invite is possible, whether a profile photo is set, and other settings. So the software obtained all the information for our links. The name, if you forcibly need to get the number of participants in each group or channel you are checking. We enable the setting to forcibly determine the number of users in the group. And the software will send additional requests and obtain such information. Here we also have information about statuses as in any software database. Whether media sending is possible, whether sending messages is possible at all, whether an invite is possible, for example, an invitation to a specific chat, sending stickers, slow mode, whether slow mode is set in a chat, whether there is a scam label or not, and so on. There is a lot of information regarding this in the database, which you can use in the future, for example, to sort your links. For example, by the number of participants, whether there is a photo or not. For example, here the statuses, 0 means no photo, 1 means there is a photo. And here are the numbers 1 and 0. They represent 1 as something that exists or something that is possible. 0 is something that is not possible. If you are confused or don't understand this point, you can take, for example, let's take an account and take, for example, the first chat. Copy the link. Let's look at it. Here's the chat. There are photos on it. There is a photo. So checking these points is not difficult. Just take any object from your database and look, compare, check, and remember for yourself. And the rest, the module checks, as I already said, all links related to Telegram, whether it's channel usernames, chats, or users, so try it and see. The module is very convenient, very easy to use, and very useful. And another point is that after checking the links, the database that you obtain with the result, you can work with it in any module. For example, if you check users, in the sending module you can specify the path to this database and the software will work with these users, or the same with groups. In other words, the software will work with this database. You don't need to additionally copy information from the database, paste it somewhere, and so on. Just check the information you need through the link checking module, and then save this database for yourself. For example, sign it and indicate the path to it and work with the objects that are there, just by specifying the path to this database. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye to everyone.